Hello, this is James Smith at GannAnalysis.net. Today we're covering Meta platforms, Meta. Square of 144, that's what we're doing. Let me show you how we create this chart. We start from this low back here in September of 2012. 17.55 was the low. And we add 288 points because for the 1 by 1, we're using a price unit of 2 points per month. What that means is the slope of this line is going to rise. It's going to rise by 2 points every month. And if you add 288 points, because remember our square 144 would be 2 times 144 because we're using a scale of 2 points for the 1 by 1. That's 288 plus 17.55. That gives you 305.55. That's where you complete the square in price terms because you're moving up 288 points from the low. In time, where this 1 by 1 crosses that level at 305.55, that's where you complete the square in time. Now, never mind the fact that it doesn't really look like a square. Some of it is just a function of, what you do with the chart. I mean, if you scrunch it down, it looks more like a square now. Okay, that looks more like a square, but, if you expand it out, it looks more like a rectangle. I just want to expand it out so you can see the chart more clearly. But the reality is, whether it's a square or rectangle is less important. The important thing is to find what looks like a tool that's going to help you spot turns. So what I've done here, I've circled with the red circle areas where we had a hit, a high or a low. I got a low here on the 1/4 division of the square. You got a high here recently in September. It should have been September. Okay, it's slightly popped above it, and now it's coming back down. So this is a nice hit. This was a nice hit, and this was a nice hit. I like the fact that this was 3/4 of the way through the square in time. This is the full square, a completion of 1 square in time, actually 2 squares up in price. So what you're looking for with Gann is symmetry. The more symmetry, the better. So in this case, the reason you got a sell-off is because you were 1 1/4 squares up in price, 3/4 over in time. So that was a nice, there's some symmetry there, that it's responding to a time and price balance. Anytime you have time and price in balance, and if the market is oversold or overbought going into that time frame, you have a better chance of a trend change. And obviously down here, there was no cycle, but the reality is it sold off so severely, it found support on a Gann division of the square, 1/4 division. So that's nice. And this one is so overbought, it seems logical that you're probably going to have at least a minor pullback. You can argue about how far it's going to pull back. Somebody might still be bullish and they're looking to buy the dip. But the reality is this is a useful tool to tell you, hey, now's not the time to be buying it. So September should have formed a top. It got up a little higher in October. Now you're reversing down. If you get follow through in November, and let's say you take out this 1/4 division, that would, be a sign you're headed down. That's around 521 area. And then you continue down. And then you go from one to the next. You don't know which one's going to give you the low, but I think it's going to be a pretty decent correction because note here you had a pretty decent rally, and look how big the correction was. This is a very volatile stock, so when it goes down, it takes no prisoners. Same thing here. It rallied so strongly. I mean, if you bought it at 90 and it got all the way to 600, hey, you're doing pretty good. So somebody's probably taking profit up here. I mean, this is a hell of a rally. And we're right before the election. There's a lot of uncertainty. People don't know what's going to happen next. So you can kind of see why people are starting to sell the stock. I like it. It's a great setup. I think from a Gann perspective, it illustrates why we look at Gann, because the square of 144, it's really just telling you there's a relationship between time and price. And if you can figure it out, you can catch these turns like this one here, this one here, this one down here. They don't always work. I mean, this was not that impressive. It just kept going up. I mean, it's not like you got a sell-off here or a rally. It just sort of continued along the one by one. Really, what I would like to say is that when it works best is when you got an extreme oversold condition or an extreme overbought condition. And that's what I believe we have right now. It's extremely overbought going into this cycle. One square over in time, two squares up in price, right? This is literally just the second square, right? So if this is the first square, and again, it doesn't look like a square, it's more of a rectangle, but the idea is that one square on top of the other, that shows you there's some geometry going on between time and price. They're related to each other. And so that's what sets up a reversal in trend. And then, okay, you can decide for yourself whether you think it's going to be a big correction or a small correction, but some sort of pullback is likely based on the square 144. That's all we're really saying. So I hope this has been helpful. If you like this video, give us a like, follow us on social media, and maybe even register to the website, www.gannanalysis.net. You get a few free reports if you register. And of course, if you like what you see, you might also think about trying out the service for 3 months. Just check it out, see what you think. Good luck with your trading. Appreciate your time.